My name's Art O'Leary. I'm the Chief Executive of Ireland's Electoral Commission. And in a previous life, about 10 years ago, I designed the original Citizens' Assembly model in Ireland, the one that we're still using today. So in the last 10 years, we've had 6 national citizens' assemblies, and I've been involved in pretty much all of them. So I was delighted to join the Dutch Citizens' Assembly on climate change. I was asked to join the Citizens Council because I've had so much experience in running citizens assemblies, and some of which have had transformational impact in this country. We've changed our constitution a couple of times. We've changed the laws. The government have changed policies based on recommendations of the citizens in citizens assemblies. So Ireland has found a way of turning citizen participation into concrete government decisions and the development of policies. In the last 2 years, I've spoken in 80 different countries about citizens' assemblies because they all come knocking on the door, asking me, how does it work in Ireland? We hear you do this pretty well, so tell us something about it. So I was delighted to be involved and very pleased. I always say yes whenever I can, but it was a great pleasure to join your Dutch colleagues. The questions, interestingly, because I've done this in a number of countries, the questions tend to be all the same, which is really amazing. Is that how does this work and what happens afterwards and where does it go and tell us all about it. And so it was pretty much the same with your Dutch colleagues. They have a natural intellectual curiosity, which I love to see. People are interested. People want to make a contribution. They want to have their voice heard. So our job and my job with citizens' assemblies is to support our citizens. So in Ireland, a couple of the big things that we do very well are things like the representative nature of the room. And I spoke a little bit about this, because everybody in Ireland needs to be able to see themselves represented in that room. And if they don't see somebody who looks exactly like them, then they can see somebody who's the same opinion as them. So we work very hard to create Ireland in one room. The other thing that we do quite well is the after bit. After the citizens make recommendations for change or in a report, then it goes to the Parliament who create a special committee, and then the government considers the report and in a very transparent way comes in to debate the report and the political view of this, and they announce which recommendations they're accepting and when they'll be implemented. And they also, more importantly, perhaps, announce which recommendations they're not accepting and why. So we had a lot of discussion around that because I think it's very important for citizens when they're giving up so much of their free time on these issues that they understand very clearly about what happens afterwards and the importance of their report not sitting on shelves gathering dusts in the months afterwards. A couple of things to just bear in mind is that you will feel lost in the early parts of this. It's completely natural. There are people who spend decades studying the climate and studying any issues that are the subject of the Citizens' Assembly, and still they don't know the answers. So in a short few months, you can't possibly be expected to know everything. All we ask of people is to listen to presentations, to read the documentation that they're given, and to have conversations with your other citizens. And your recommendations will emerge. We've had some brilliant experience in Ireland of recommendations which emerged from citizen assemblies being replicated exactly by referendums of the full Irish people. So have some confidence in yourself, believe in yourself. We don't expect rocket science. We expect your view. Everybody gets to hear and see the same information, but you put that with your own personal life experience and you offer some thoughts. And the good thing about a citizens' assembly is that it is a very safe environment to express opinions. And That's the key to everything. We have zero tolerance for conflict, so everybody knows that they can put up their hand or they can open their mouth and say, here's what I believe on this particular issue. And it's a safe environment. Nobody's going to be attacked as well. So, um, one of my favorite citizens' assemblies in Ireland was one where we looked at local government, and we had a whole pile of citizens in the room. And on their first day, we asked them to name their local mayor of their local town. And 70% of our citizens couldn't name their local mayor. 6 months later, they were designing complex local authority structures with a flair and with a confidence that would make your heart sing. So don't beat yourself up. If you're finding this slow, if you're finding it's difficult, it's supposed to be difficult. Otherwise, the government would have solved this problem already. The government have come to you and said, listen, we have a problem with climate in this country. We don't really know the answer. Will you come and help us out? Lads, just go and help them out. It's going to be great. You have some confidence in yourself. I have absolutely no doubt that your recommendations will be right on the money, because you are more aware of the impact of this than you give yourselves credit for. So enjoy the experience. Every single person who has been through a citizens' assembly in Ireland, and there's been about 800 or 900 now in the last 10 or 11 years, every single one of them walked out at the end saying, this was the best thing that I was ever involved in, and there's something very heartwarming about that, because some of them have had great careers, they've had kids, and they've got extraordinary lives. But there's something very, very special about a citizens' assembly. So enjoy the experience, work hard, socialize hard, go and get to know your colleagues around you, and you will really enjoy it.